Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm going to go ahead and call to order this meeting of the City Council of Los Banos for January 8th, 2025. And if we could have a stand for the pledge, please. We have roll call, please.
Lambert, Lewis,
Here.
Yamabill,
Here. And now we'll do consideration of the agenda as submitted. Recommendation is adopted agenda as submitted. Do I have a motion and a second?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as submitted.
Okay, we got a motion and second to accept the agenda as submitted. Any questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Now we'll go to the public forum. Members of the public may address the City Council on any item of public interest that's within the jurisdiction of our city. This includes agenda and non-agenda items. We cannot take any action on non-agenda items, and speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. Anyone that would like to speak to the City Council, please come forward at this time.
Mayor, Council, I'm Raul Granillo, citizen here in Los Banos. On Christmas Eve, my little brother called me to let me know that my mom had suffered a brain bleed. She lives in New Mexico, and the prognosis wasn't good. She's 84 years old. They flew her to Denver, and I went to San Jose, caught a plane, and met my brothers and sister in Denver so we could go be with my mom during this time. Of course, by the time I got to Denver, it was late, and the hospital visitor hours were closed. So in the morning, I went in to go see my mom, and in that moment, seeing her like that, there was only one thing in the world that mattered to me, and that was, of course, my mom. They said the doctor would be around 10 o'clock as they did rounds to let us know what the development was. And when 10 o'clock came and the doctors came, it was really refreshing and encouraging to see not just one doctor, but a team of 5 doctors come, something that we see more and more in our healthcare systems. The doctors came as a team and they talked together about different ways, different ideas of how to treat my mom. And it turns out that teams of doctors are more effective and efficient than solo doctors. And interestingly enough, actually studies have shown that this is true regardless of what that team is composed of, that the group always works better than the individual. And it's true because they offer different perspectives. Each one of them, no matter how great or brilliant they may be, only has a limited perspective of what they can see or understand. But having these outside voices speak in allow them to see things in new ways. And these doctors that came together, and they weren't against each other, saying, let's do it this way. No, let's do it this way. They were a team who were like working together synergistically for one purpose and one purpose only, and that was to care for my mom. And it was so encouraging and so amazing to see. They weren't concerned with their department, with their image, with their pride. They were concerned with her, recognizing that they needed the group to do this. Tonight, you're going to select new members of this council to become a part of this team. They should have one common goal, and that is the benefit of the community of Los Banos. Every one of you, every single person that is here has their own perspective of this community and its needs. And that perspective is going to be different than our neighbors. It's going to be different than the person who sits next to you. Each of the people that you select have their own perspective, but I pray that all of you would remember, that every one of us would remember that our perspective, no matter how seasoned it may be, is limited in such a degree that it requires the voice and the perspective of the rest of your teammates. And as you select candidates, I know that you will look for those who, like the mayor had said, are willing to listen to others. I love that. To look for a better way to lead and to serve this community. To be willing to say, you know what, we're not going to do it my way. We're going to do it that way. We're going to concede to do something that's better for the whole. Not just for the districts that you represent. And I feel like a lot of times we come up here and each of you battles against each other, fighting for the crumbs under the table to give to your district. But instead of trying to fight for the rights of just your district, recognize that while your district is whom you represent, it is the community at large that you serve. And recognizing that what benefits Los Banos community as a whole benefits your district every single time. They're vitally connected. And so I pray that as we move forward, as you serve, as you search for those who would work alongside you, that you would look for factors such as humility, integrity, empathy, a selfless love for others, and even a faith in something that is bigger than any one of you could possibly imagine on your own. Because all of you and this community are always in need of each other. Every one of you, this community is always in my prayers, and I want to let you know that I'm here to serve as you need as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to come forward? Okay, not seeing or hearing anyone coming forward, I'll go ahead and close the... yes. Mhm. So anyway, not seeing or hearing anyone coming forward, I'll go ahead and close the public forum. And see, the first item is conduct interviews for filing the Los Banos City Council member vacancy in District 2 and 3, and select one applicant to fill each vacant city council seat. With that, we've been going over this the last 2 or 3 meetings quite a bit. And over the last 2 or 3 weeks, all of us have gotten a lot of emails, texts, calls, letters, recommending different candidates, and we really appreciate that. All that really helps us all very much. Unfortunately, we can only pick 2 people, and but we really appreciate everybody applying for the position. Your willingness to serve is admirable, and it really makes a difference in our community, people that wanting to serve and help our community out. If you aren't selected, please keep in mind that there's openings on the Planning Commission, Airport Commission, Tree Committee. There's a lot of other things you can start off getting your feet wet a little bit and moving your way up. But please do not get discouraged if you're not selected. It always works out in the long run. So anyway, with that, I'm going to turn it, Bill, you want to go ahead and introduce this item just a little bit?
So, Mayor, we've been talking about this item since early December when the 2 vacancies came about. You've gone through a process over 3 meetings of determining how you're going to approach this. The notices of vacancy went out. You have applicants who've submitted applications and are ready to interview tonight. At their last meeting, we set up your interview process in terms of how that was going to work, giving each of the applicants the ability to speak to you for a few minutes to introduce themselves and then to entertain questions from the council. We also, at that last meeting, determined your preferred method of selection in terms of voting, and that's in your staff report. Just to be clear, every vote, even though it's going to be on a ballot, it's going to be announced after all of the votes are made, so that everybody in this room and then the public's going to know how each of you voted and how each of you ranked each of the persons that have applied for this position. It's really going to be the city clerk who's going to keep this thing moving along, and her first, unless there's any questions from the council, the first order of business is for her to select the order in which, is it District 2 we're going to go with first? I believe there's 4 applicants for District 2. They're going to speak to you, we're going to choose their order by lot, and once they have their time to introduce themselves, I'm thinking that you've determined that the city clerk will be asking the 6 questions that you've approved. And there you go. And then we'll get to the voting after all 4 applicants has had a chance to address you.
Okay, perfect. Any questions, Bill, before we move on? Okay, thank you, Bill. And so now, Lucy, it's you.
To repeat that into the mic? Or?
Yes, please.
Okay. So the order of interviews will be Refugio Lamas, number 1, Cody Camacho, number 2, Abel Molina, number 3, and Evan Sanders, number 4. I just have a point of clarification. Who's going to time? Who's going to be the official timer of the introduction 3 minutes and the 2 minutes for each question? Do you want me to do that, or were you going to do it on your?
This thing has a 1, 3, 5. So I can do the 3 minute.
Okay.
And I should be able to do it from here.
Okay.
I don't know
or
if
I can grab a cell phone and do a timer on the cell phone.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
I'm supposed to relax tonight.
So we're going to have the acting police chief help me. He'll be the timer.
Yes.
All right. So.
Okay, so Refugio Lamas, you want to come forward and give us your opening statement? The mic is on, and this is 5 minutes, right, Lucy? 3 minutes?
3.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, good evening to you. Thank you for providing this opportunity for the applicants to present themselves and then make a selection from the applicants. Again, my name is Refugio Llamas. My wife and I moved here in 1992. We enjoyed the environment here. We moved from San Jose, which was getting too big for us, and we like the small town atmosphere here in Los Banos. Some of my background, most of my background has been involved with the Marine Corps and involved in higher planning, staff work, etc. One thing that I bring to the table is the ability to collaborate, to bring people together, and execute on a plan. Many times, as a staff member, I would be a part of a larger group involving up to 32 personnel in a room. We each had an opportunity to provide our point of view depending on the mission or assigned task. And at the end of the day, we were given a plan and we executed on that. And that's what I feel refreshing about this new city council is that people are allowed to speak freely, participate, engage, provide their input, a decision is made, and we go on to the next item. I believe Los Banos has tremendous potential to be a model city for our residents to thrive here, for our children to grow up in a safe environment. We have tremendous opportunity, again, geographically located. They say location, location, location. Well, Los Banos has it all. We are here, crossroads of 152, which goes from 99, Central Valley, Highway 5, and Highway 101, which gives us access to the Bay Area. All these things are beneficial to us, and I think that they will help us in developing our economic structure so that more of our families can stay and work here in Los Banos, so we can attract greater economic development to be able to provide for a growing police department, a growing fire department, and other amenities and recreation for our citizens to thrive in. I think that collaboratively we can do this, working together, each offering our opinion, drawing from our experiences, and keeping in mind that our sole interest is the betterment of our fellow citizens and residents, that no one has a better idea or no idea is poor. We just need to develop it, work on it, make a decision, and we move on. Am I good for time?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Again, I believe that I have the background and experience that will help me be a contributing member of the City Council. My only interest here is to serve and to serve our residents in a team environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So now, we'll go ahead. Lucy's going to ask the questions, and you can respond.
Yes, sir.
What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for the Los Banos moving forward?
Well, I believe that we need to develop a strategy. We must have a game plan. We should identify our strengths and weaknesses. I think the idea of understanding what we want to do and how we communicate that to the business community is vital. We should also go to businesses that have relocated, say, for example, Hollister, or Gilroy, or Patterson. Ask those businesses why they chose to move there and not look here at the Los Banos. What was it that they had that we don't have here in Los Banos? And are we ready to make the investments to make Los Banos more attractive for that next company or enterprise that wants to expand or move? Also, we must also take a look at our business permitting process. Over and over again, I heard from residents that our business permitting process was too lengthy. Similar businesses had vastly varying timelines in the issuance of their business permit. And again, that would scare away or maybe cause people to not want to move or open a business here if they believe that they wouldn't be able to open up their business in a timely manner. Again, developing a business community and economic development will help our residents and help drive revenue. Thank you.
All right, the second question, how does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
Well, it's a very good question. When you have a thriving economic or business climate, you have residents coming out. They engage in commerce that helps the revenue by providing money for our public services, recreation as well. But also what it does is it allows people to engage with one another, to interact with one another, to expand their feeling of the city, if you will. They speak with folks from other parts of the city. They connect on certain issues, say school. They also pass along information about what's happening in the city, recreation, or other important issues. So it's very important to have a vibrant economic atmosphere in Los Banos. And also what that does is it also encourages and spurs others to want to invest. If they see a very vibrant economic picture in Los Banos, then it's going to motivate others to say, hey, you know what, I want a part of that. I want to invest in that, and I want to be a part of that again. So I think it's very important for us to develop our business climate, and it also supports our small business folks who are spending a great deal of time and money and energy, and it helps a great deal again because that's where we get our revenue to support our basic services.
Third question, what are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
Well, I think that one thing that we need to do is continue with the Parks and Recreation program that we have. I think it's very positive. It brings people together from all walks of life, from various ages, and it really brings a sense of community, and it binds the community together in an atmosphere of low stress and fun and excitement. Those things we need to develop. We also need to consider other things. For example, we just had a local cross-country team, the school escaped me, but they had a 510K run on January 1st. Those things are exceptional. Those things happen a lot in the Bay Area and larger cities. They also bind the community together in activities that they can do together. Again, our wrestling team. Again, Pacheco High School, I believe, had a 14-school wrestling tournament. The city needs to champion those types of things again because it brings pride and sense of community and binds our society together as one. So those are the kind of things that I think we should keep doing. Thank you.
Question number 4, why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
Well, as you may or may not know, I spent a great deal of time this past few months, talking with our residents, specifically residents of District 2. I spoke to them in their driveway. I spoke to them in their front door. I spoke to them in their kitchen, in their living rooms. I spoke to them about issues and concerns that they've had. I got a good idea of what they want, what they would like to see in the city, and I believe that I have the ability in the background to be able to provide them with solutions to their concerns. Not only that, but I think what the citizens want is more transparency, which is, again, we started off on a great foot. Now I want to be part of that transparency. They want to be able to be part of the decision-making process. They want to know or believe that they have been involved, are allowed to ask questions, and that they are responded to in a timely manner. Again, they may not agree with the decisions, but as long as they're included with the decision-making process and they're informed as to the process, I think that is one of the most important things that they want. And I think that I am keenly suited to providing that. You know, one thing that I had the privilege of commanding, being a platoon commander, even though I was enlisted. And one of the things that we did was we had very detailed planning from the time of the sun would go up, how many hours we'd have in daylight, etc., how much starlight we would have. And I would develop this plan, and I would give it to my subordinate sergeants, and I'd say, please tear this apart. Let me know where I'm wrong. And that way, it gave me two things. It identified areas of my weaknesses in my plan, but also provided buy-in from my subordinate leaders. Thank you.
5th question, what do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
Well, there are several, but I think, and I'm going to go again just as a conduit from what I received from residents, specifically for residents in District 2, is a lack of direction from the city. We've had projects that there seemed to be no priority of work on these projects, where we have, say, for example, streets which have been worked on, which I greatly appreciate, but streets that are higher priority because they're a safety concern. Yet we're spending money on other projects which maybe were not as high as a concern as the safety issues. Again, residents felt that they were shut out of the decision-making process. When they came up to ask questions, that they were spurned. And again, I believe that that's something that we're fixing now. Another issue is lack of economic development, focusing on higher paying jobs, industry, things like that, so that more of our residents can stay and work here. As you know, I used to commute to the Bay Area, and you spend a tremendous amount of time on the road. A lot of time that you waste away from your children, not able to go to sports with them or other functions with them. So I think that we owe it to them to try to work harder to bring economic development here. And I think what help the city as a whole, again, provide revenue, provide for our services, etc. But again, set priorities, communicate those priorities, and if elected, or excuse me, if selected, first thing I will do is hold a town hall meeting with my district to, again, to reintroduce myself and to listen to their concerns. Thank you.
Last and final question, what do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
Why? Well, we have so much to offer. We're uniquely located here, Yosemite Valley, other national recreation sites. We have tremendous affordable housing, which I hope that continues. We have the ability to, I think the small town atmosphere is one of the best things. We have a lot of parks and recreation activities for our families. We have we have the ability, again, to do so much. And I think people see that. It's not just in the housing, but in our geographic location. And people like the small town atmosphere. People like to be able to go and stroll downtown and go to shopping and be back within 45 minutes and not have spent half your day to go into a shopping mall, getting stuck in traffic on the 101 or the 280 or the 85, et cetera, just to do a simple shopping excursion. They can do that here. Again, we have a lot to offer, and that is the small town atmosphere, the friendliness of people, the ability of the friendliness of our good police officers. Our fire department is outstanding. So I think we bring a lot to the table here, and people see that. And a lot of people still want to continue to move here. And I think we have our best days are ahead for Los Banos. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Cody Camacho, please. Welcome. Let's see, we have 3 minutes, and go ahead and start up.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, council members, everyone here tonight. I want to thank all of the applicants for, coming out here and, throwing their hat in the ring for this. My name's Cody Jared Camacho. I was born here in Los Banos in 1992, right there at the hospital on I Street. I grew up on Cardinal Street, and I currently live in College Greens. So I'm very invested in this community, in the city. This is my hometown. I'm very proud to say that. I have background in campaign work and consulting for various political campaigns, and I also am no stranger to public service. I served as the Merced student body president at Merced City, Community College for multiple terms, where I learned how to deal with constituents, meet with various shared governance groups, and help come to, ideas, solutions, compromises that everyone might not like, but that everyone was comfortable with moving forward. I served on hiring committees and on planning commissions and the whole lot of it. So, I'll keep my introduction short, and thank you for having me tonight.
Thank you.
Question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
For me, we need good jobs that attract and retain talent. We need people that want to stay in Los Banos and that want to raise families here in Los Banos. We want to have jobs programs and invest in infrastructure that create those incentives for businesses to come here and stay. I'm not for the growth for the sake of growth. I want quality growth that actually benefits the people of Los Banos, and I want to see future investments so that long-term Los Banos is sustainable and a place where everyone wants to live. Thank you.
Question number 2. How does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
Great question. And first and foremost, it offers the convenience of us being able to shop here, of us being able to run errands here when we don't have to work instead of having to go out of town to do those errands. It helps stimulate the local economy, and it gives the city tax revenue, which in turn could lead to improvements in public infrastructure, public safety, and the overall well-being of the city. It shows commitment to our community that we want to see them grow, and it shows, again, that long-term investment I was just speaking about. We need a strong business community, and it's not just about opening as many businesses as possible. It's about that quality growth to ensure that every business has the opportunity to serve the community and to thrive here. Thank you.
Question number 3. What are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
Thank you. First and foremost, we need our local leaders to take pride in our community. We need to foster a community that the residents of Los Banos can easily say that they are proud of. Issues should be addressed efficiently and to the satisfaction of our residents. The city council ought to lead by example, in my opinion. It's difficult for me personally to take pride in our community when public parks and rail trails feel unsafe. It's difficult to take pride in our community when incompetent city managers are paid millions of dollars at the taxpayers' expense. It's impossible to take pride in our community when that same city manager was given a raise for still not doing a satisfactory job. It's hard to take pride in our community when public works projects such as completing roads and parks take years to complete. I want to take pride in this community. I love Los Banos. And to me personally, I hope that we could create a city that everyone could be proud of. And that starts right here at City Hall. Thank you.
Question number 4, why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
Thank you. You know, this one was difficult for me, and personally, I don't feel that the appointment process is super democratic. I think the residents of District 3 should have voted on who represents them, and the same for the residents of District 2. That being said, I hope this process will allow the residents of District 2 to allow me the chance to earn their support and trust. Being born and raised in Los Banos, I know what life is like here. I know the struggles and the successes of working class people in Los Banos because I'm one of them, because I live that life every day. I hope to accomplish earning the trust and the confidence in the people of District 2, and I hope that they will see that by working together and us actually listening to what our residents want, what your constituents want, and enacting the will of people, that we can make Los Banos better. And for my, qualifications or why I want to be appointed, that's why. I want to accurately represent my district, which I feel has not been accurately represented in years.
Question number 5, what do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
Thank you. Los Banos has many challenges facing it. It's hard to say the biggest. I won't pretend to say that I have the answers to the biggest or to any of them. I could talk about the need for quality economic development and better jobs. I can speak on the unhoused population and the public safety hazard that it poses to everyone. I could go on about the incompetent city manager who's failed to address any of these issues in an impactful way. I could speak on the fact that rent and the cost of living keeps increasing, which, used to be one of the biggest perks of Los Banos, is it was cheaper than the Bay Area cities. What we need is quality growth, economic development, and long-term sustainable investment in our city's future. We need a city council that listens to its constituents and addresses their concerns in a meaningful and sincere way. Thank you.
Last question, number 6. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
Honestly, this was the hardest question for me, and it took a lot of thought. The rest of these kind of came out a little easier, and I wanted to talk about how on a clear day you could see the Diablo mountain range in the Sierra Nevadas, or that, I could get to the beach or to the snow in a matter of hours, that we're at the crossroads of the state and in the center of the Central Valley. But given what's been going on here the past few years, I honestly can't think of a good reason for someone to move here right now. And that was difficult. And, I just want to I hope that in the future that will change, and that myself and every resident of Los Banos won't struggle to answer that question the way I have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Abel Molina, you're up. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for your time. Fellow City Council members, thank you guys for taking the time to listen to me. A little bit of myself. I've been here since the age of 3, so for the past 43 years, I've actually been in Los Banos. I'm currently raising my family, 3 kids, my wife, in Los Banos, District 2, and proud to say that, they're going to the same schools that I went to, Not too many people could say that. I love this community. And being from here, my dad working for Wolfison's, for 35 years, farming, being an immigrant, first-generation immigrant, being able to go to school, college, and now actually being in entrepreneurship with real estate, investing, helping buyers and sellers, Pretty much that is my life. And a simple life that I raised. What brought me here is, of course, all the complaints that we've heard for the past 2 years to be more, clear and transparent for, our city and our people.
Thank you.
Question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
I think the number one right now is actually infrastructure. I don't think we have the capability to actually grow. One of the biggest questions is, why did Patterson get all these Amazon warehouses, all these businesses have come here for their storage of inventory, and we didn't? I think we have better location. We're an hour from Modesto, an hour from Fresno, hour to, Silicon Valley, Yet they got it. I believe our infrastructure can't hold it currently, but we need to lay a plan in order to actually acquire all that and bring those jobs, which is everybody's complaint is jobs, 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 So in my belief, of course, upgrading our roads, transportation, highways, and public transit system to improve mobility for residents and businesses, addressing traffic congestion and enhancing connectivity to surrounding regions and make Los Banos more appealing, Can our utilities and water management, can they handle what we need in order to bring these jobs? We need better jobs than just bringing in restaurants, We need more Kagomis, bigger plants that could actually, Ingomar, that bring in actual jobs, not just, our restaurants that we need. Of course, then part of that plan would be including commercial and industrial zoning, so we could offer that to future, businesses. If Amazon came to us right now and says, hey, can we open up a warehouse? I don't think we have the infrastructure to do so.
Question number 2. How does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
I think it's very essential for the local businesses to be part of the community. We just don't need the big firms, the big companies. We also need the small businesses. Why? It creates jobs, It also helps create all that money and keep that money local, It recycles money over and over and over, And by doing that, it also keeps the charm, You go to other cities, Livermore, Pleasanton, their towns are fantastic, Dining, just entertaining. I believe that's what we need in this town.
Question number 3. What are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
I think it's very important so it could attract more people into the community, more businesses, showing that we're from Los Banos. I am personally proud of being from Los Banos, There's always changes in governments, mayors. Welcome back. Thank you so much. But I think it's very important to have pride in where you live. Otherwise, what's the point of living here? I plan not to move. I love Los Banos. I rarely go out of town, need anything. Yes, we all do our Costco runs like everyone else. But, there's definitely a pride being from Los Banos currently, and that's how I feel. It's very important because it shows a way that we're living, You go to other towns as a realtor, I go to different towns. I see their streets, I see their thing. Tracy has been growing like crazy, and you go through their roads, and it's beautiful, And I think that's part of what we need, so we also very proud of our community.
Question number 4. Why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
The reason, I don't have a reason why to be chosen. All I could do is give you guys my point of view. Currently, I do reside as the chairman of the tree commission, so I'm already volunteering to be part of Los Banos. Of course, this is the next step up to being involved in my community. So very little experience, yes, but I'm seeing what is needed. What I plan to accomplish during my tenure, I would say, is putting a foundation into our future plans so we can actually go and look for these more jobs. You know, I think planning is what is needed here. Yes, we need homes, we need more buildings, we need more commercial, but we need a plan to be able to get there. You know, housing, of course, by my house, there's a lot of more housing coming in. But how about the commercial, the industrial stuff, the things that actually bring jobs so people would actually just not live here, but work here, you know? And finally, I think public, public safety and education, you know, work closely with law enforcement to make sure that our schools are safe, to make sure that, you know, individuals walking in Los Banos, walking in our parks are safe, you know? I think that's very important and something that we need to get better at.
Question number 5. What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
Again, infrastructure to bring those jobs here. The warehouse jobs, the Amazons, the Wayfarers, you know. You have a lot of it in Manteca. You have Tracy. You have Patterson. Why aren't we getting those? That is the biggest challenges so we could bring those jobs here. Creating a master plan and future and laying the foundations, not just for us, but also our next generation that does run Los Banos. It provides them a plan and that they could follow to do so and grow this town. Hopefully being able to get the Costco that we all want.
Question number 6, and the last question. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
I believe the reason why people want to move to Los Banos is home affordability. Most of my sales in real estate are Bay Area people coming into town because it's so expensive over there. You know, they move here, now they commute. Now, you know, the next complaint that we hear from them is jobs, you know. But why do they come here? Home affordability, you know. We do have great schools, great schools. My kids are part of the school district that we currently have. We have a safe community, you know. We're always playing at the parks, my kids and I. And, you know, we have great programs with Parks and Recs, you know. So volleyball programs, soccer programs, you know, there's stuff that our kids here could actually do. Plus, you know, we have great city employees. Thank you.
Thank you very
guys.
much. Evan Sanders? Okay.
Hi, my name is Evan Sanders. I'm pleased to be here as a candidate for City Council. I've lived here for 21 years. I met my wife and raised my kids here. I've lived in District 2 for all those years, and in that time, I've come to appreciate not only the unique challenges our city faces, but also the incredible community we have. I now find myself with the opportunity to help shape its future. I believe what sets me apart is my ability to listen actively, think critically, and adjust my viewpoints based on new information. While my career has been in information technology, the day-to-day of the past 15 years has been building teams and fostering transformative change. I have a calm, friendly, diplomatic nature, the ability to see issues from multiple viewpoints. I get along with just about everyone I meet and have a knack for mediating and finding middle ground. Perfection is often the enemy of progress, so finding solutions to work towards with resources available is often the name of the game. I'm interested in serving on the City Council because I love this town. Over the years, I've discovered Los Banos' heart, and at its core, Los Banos is unique. We're out here in the wetlands by ourselves. My wife and I like to say that Los Banos is 45 minutes from anywhere, but 2 hours from everywhere. It's the perfect location for people who love the outdoors. Go to the beach on Saturday, the mountains on Sunday. It's a type of community that I believe a lot of people are seeking, but we've not done enough to show who we are. I've made lifelong friends here, both transplants and people whose families have been here for generations. I wasn't born here, so I know I'll never truly be a local, but I have 5 kids who were all born here, and that's good enough for me. Our city stands at a crossroads. I believe the key to a thriving future is adopting a growth mindset. Growth can be daunting, but it's essential. By focusing on making Los Banos clean, safe, family-friendly, we can attract not just new residents, but also businesses that provide high-income career opportunities for our citizens. We need to lean into what makes us special: our affordability, our central location, and our potential to be a magnet for families and professionals who value quality of life. Our real challenge is balancing the small town feel while encouraging growth, but I think that's an attainable goal if we're mindful about it. Short term, I prioritize the basics: clean neighborhoods, safe streets, strong enforcement of community standards. These are achievable, cost-effective changes that build pride and create an inviting environment. Long term, I envision a Los Banos that businesses see as the perfect location for operations, right in the middle of the largest sub-national economy in the world. Los Banos should be a place where commuters become business owners. We embrace our potential as a hub for remote workers and small business by investing in modern infrastructure and incentivizing business development. We can reinvent ourselves as the true crossroads of California. I realize I have a lot to learn. I've never participated in city government. I do believe I have the right mindset and approach to be successful. I plan to engage directly with residents through social media and outreach, asking for input and ideas to inform my decisions. I want to understand what's been tried, what's worked, what hasn't, both here and in other cities, so we can make informed, forward-thinking choices. Los Banos is already a great place to live, but I believe it can be better. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Lucy?
Question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
So, in a word, growth. What we really need are more high-paying jobs, and the only way to do that is to cultivate an environment that attracts the businesses that offer those jobs. The reality is that Los Banos at this stage has a couple of choices. We can keep trying to turn the clock back to when Los Banos was an isolated small town, or adopt a growth mindset and embrace the fact that we are A, a magnet for Bay Area people who want a better quality of life, and B, located in an ideal place for certain industries to build their businesses. By attracting talented people from the Bay Area to live here, over time those same people might open their own small businesses, make it attractive for larger businesses to open campuses here due to increased depth of talent pool, and encourage marquee brands from retail and entertainment industries to open locations and attractions. Short term, we need to focus on keeping neighborhoods safe, clean, and family-friendly so they're attractive to residents and potential buyers. Long term, we need to ensure we have land set aside for development by businesses from targeted sectors.
Question number 2. How does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
The obvious benefit is the tax base. It increases the tax base. From the perspective of a former commuter, it means I don't need to leave town on the weekends when I've been commuting all week. There was nothing more frustrating than commuting all week, and then Saturday I need to go to Modesto or Gilroy to get basic stuff. In the age of Amazon, it's less of an issue, but it seems like a lot of non-native Los Banos residents don't really know the variety of small businesses we have. They just default to going out of town. We hired a videographer to do, I thought it was to do profiles of local business, but I only saw one happen, the Jams 209, and all I've seen from that is just promotions from trimming trees and stuff, which is great. It's nice to see the city's doing things, but it'd be nice to showcase local business when they open, or if an existing business wants to be seen, to give them an opportunity to be highlighted as well.
Question number 3. What are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
This is an interesting question for me. You can't convince someone to have pride. Pride is a core emotion. It has to be cultivated. You can't convince someone, hey, you should be proud of this. It's a natural result of consistent, predictable, regular practice and holding yourself accountable to a standard. If we apply this to a community, we can look at how the city operates both inside and outside of City Hall. Inside of City Hall, Los Banos should strive for more transparency in how the City Council makes decisions and the reasoning behind those decisions. To the average citizen, having confidence that the local government truly has my best interests at heart goes a long way towards encouraging me to have pride in my community. Outside of City Hall, Los Banos has some things that we're great at. If I call about graffiti in my neighborhood, it's gone, usually in hours, but almost always by the next day. There's some areas we could probably work on, neighborhood blight, being able to finance code enforcement patrols to make sure curb appeal is as good as possible in neighborhoods. Things like cars parked on lawns, grass that's up to your waist, stuff like that. And I'd be willing to bet the vast majority of Los Banos citizens would support funding police to address things like fireworks displays and racing cars and donuts and intersections. All these are activities that are only fun for the person that's doing them. Everybody else lowers their quality of life and erodes their pride in their community. That's it.
Question number 4, why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
So I don't think that I'm better or worse than anyone up here. I think everybody here has the city's best interest at heart, and they want to do their best. I think I bring a unique perspective to the table in that I'm a former commuter, and now I am full-time, work from home, resident of Los Banos. I leave town pretty much for vacation to go to the mountains. I try to do all my shopping in town, filling in with Amazon where needed. My career has equipped me with skills that could be used to see issues the city is facing in a fresh light. I manage budgets, I negotiate contracts, vendor selection, building teams and bringing people with different viewpoints together to help develop strategic approaches to problems. I've been a leader in transformative change and building teams at multiple private companies. Those are soft skills that immediately translate to any position that requires thoughtfulness and diplomacy. As a council representative, I hope to bring transparency back to the city council and help the citizens of Los Banos have faith that the council is there to serve the best interests of the city. I'd like to set the city up for growth. Right now, it's a sad truth that unless you have family business here, there's very little opportunity for our youth. My big, hairy goal as a council representative is to help the city move into the future, knowing that we're doing everything we can to make Los Banos a place that kids want to live in rather than escape from. A wish list for my own district: I want our larger streets to get speed bumps. I want our parks and facilities to be cleaned up. I'd like a paved path similar to what District 3 has along the canal, ideally linked to the existing path that terminates at Ward Road. I'd love for the residents of other districts to visit Meadowlands Park and watch the sunrise over the Sierras. I see it every morning, and it's amazing.
Question number 5, what do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
So long term, our biggest challenge is, I think, unanimous from everybody that's spoken up here. It's how to attract business to Los Banos to create jobs, real jobs that pay real wages. I have some ideas around this, but without knowing what's happening behind the scenes, it's hard to know if any of them are viable. But we have a huge untapped potential because of our location. We are truly the crossroads of California. We have no businesses in town that leverage that geography. We need to zone land appropriately to target manufacturing, distribution centers, trucking, and logistics industries. If we decide to expand the borders, we should expand towards I-5 to allow industry with master planning to make sure that the core of Los Banos is not impacted by industry. Broadly, we need to lean into our proximity to the Bay Area as an asset. Position Los Banos as a destination for recreation and family activities. People go to hot places for vacation all the time. Why don't we try to attract businesses to open recreation here? Who needs a splash pad if you have a water park? We need to work towards positioning Los Banos as a great place for remote or partially remote workers to call home. Focus on infrastructure that supports that. Co-working facilities, fiber internet. People that go to the valley only 2 or 3 days a week, this is a great opportunity. Like I did it 5 days a week for a long time. 2 days of work a week commuting to San Jose is perfectly viable. But living here, and even where I live, one of the newer homes, the internet's not great. So if the city could help get actual fiber internet in here, I think it would be really valuable, and it would draw some other people in. So short term, the homeless situation is obviously an issue. I am 100% behind the single location for the homeless, but I drove by there when it was raining, and I think it needs a little work. Having people live like that, I think, is a blight.
Last question, number 6. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
So if I were talking to one of my backpacking or rafting friends, I'd tell them that it's because we can get anywhere in the Sierras from here. My wife and I backpack Kings Canyon, Yosemite, Stanislaus National Forest, Everett Wilderness, Tahoe, all over the place, and hardly any of it's more than 3 hours from here, which is amazing. We can do long weekends backpacking all over the Sierra, and if you don't spend time in the Sierra, you should. Really, the reasons I hear people moving here are affordable housing, and that's pretty much all they care about. If that's the reason they're moving here, they don't care about anything else. Or it's people that grew up here and they're moving back. For the most part, we need to win over people that are moving here for the affordable housing and show them that this is a great place to live. The people that are moving back here already know it's a great place to live. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now it's voting for this district. Okay.
Is everyone clear on how the voting in round one is going to work?
Why don't you just read off what that is?
I'll just look at your preferred alternative and read it off to you. Each council member shall vote for their 2 first-place applicants from the list of the 4 that have been before you. You must vote for 2 applicants. Each vote will be worth two points, and the 3 applicants receiving the most points will advance to the next round, and then we'll have a second vote for those that advance to the next round. For who? No, there'll be no secret ballots.
Yeah. Again, thank you all very much for applying for the position.
Councilmember Deborah Lewis voted for Refugio Lamas and Evan Sanders. Mayor Amabil voted for Refugio Lamas and Evan Sanders. You need to vote for 2.
At this time, I don't have two applicants. I went off of their answers, and some of the answers did not agree with. I don't have another one.
So the voting and the selection won't work unless everybody votes for two, and then you'll have an opportunity.
I'll explain why after all their other votes are done with.
Well, respectfully, this is the alternative that the council and the direction the council chose to take. And
My last say on my last thing is I wanted alternative one on both. That's the one I felt was the most.
So
I don't have a second. I'll put my second on Abel.
pardon me?
I'll put both of them on him.
Well, Councilmember, in all due respect, it's clear as to how the process has been set up and how you as a council chose to proceed at the last meeting. And it's clear that in this process, this alternative is that it was agreed that in the first round, you would choose two applicants.
And if I remember correctly, I chose alternative one. I was the only one, and that's the one I'm sticking to.
Whether you chose alternative one or not, it wasn't the alternative that was chosen by the majority of the council at the last meeting.
So I don't have anybody here.
there's still another vote. There's still,
Well, it's not a legal call. It's the
Yeah.
council. It's the council's
So there's
decision.
three people up there then.
Excuse me.
Then we'll move the three, so I've got my one vote there. The other two are the same. So there's three people there now for the next vote.
okay, let's just do it that way. So who was your voting for that?
Here.
And just to be clear again, that's the way I'll vote on the next section too, alternative one. That's the one I agreed on, the only one I agreed on.
Councilmember Lambert voted for Abel Molina. Do you want me to tally up the vote tally?
Yeah.
Okay, so each selection was worth 2 points. So Refugio Lamas has 4, Evan Sanders has 4, and Abel Molina only has 2. In accordance with the rules, the 3 applicants receiving the most points advance to the next round.
Which is how many applicants?
3.
3? Okay. We got the 3?
So what was agreed to as the second round was that each council member would rank these 3 applicants in order of first choice, second choice, third choice.
Repeat that, Bill.
So in the next round, with the 3 applicants, Mr. Yamas, Mr. Sanders, and Mr. Molina, you will rank them your first, second, and third choice. And there's 3 points for your first choice, 2 points for your second choice, 1 point for your third choice. Person with the most points will be selected.
Are you going to do that, Ken, or you're going to just vote for
Yeah.
one?
There's gonna be only one vote.
But even in the second round, you
Yeah.
divided, because this is what you agreed
Yeah.
to, the 3, 2, 1.
And my first vote's gonna be 8.
Yeah, I know, you're not going to vote for the other ones, though? I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead, Ms. Liz.
So we all voted and agreed at the last meeting on what the process would be. If one of us as council member chooses not to follow that, then why do we count that vote at all?
Still a vote.
We agreed upon a process. And so, to me, if you agreed upon a process and now you decide to renege on it, I struggle with that.
So just to clarify, Mr. Mayor. I
We
didn't
all
agree
voted
to it.
on the process.
Remember, I did not agree with it. I remember the last words I said was, and it was just a move forward type case, was I agreed with alternative one on both cases. You both took alternative three with the possibility of changing the third one on the bigger group of people, which could have been decided tonight.
Yeah, that is true. So, but now we're getting to
Yeah.
the option one, which you wanted. So you won't do
So-
that one either?
The option one for me is able for this one right here.
Well, you're not going to put any,
There's no
if
other
you don't
one.
put an order on the other ones, it sort of messes everything up.
I would have put them down on the first time if I wanted either one of those.
You don't have a ranking for 2 or 3?
Just
No.
one. Just say, well, I don't want to rank either one of those.
So this looks like it'll be a tie then, I think, right?
I think, I'm not a mathematician, but I think it skews the voting if you're not voting for 3. Again, I go back to last week, whether or not, Mr. Lambert, you agreed to it or not, it's the direction the council voted to take, and that's the way the vote should be happening. We can sit here and debate what the alternative would be if you don't want to participate in what was decided. I understand you wanted the other alternative, but this is the alternative that the council chose as a group, and I would suggest that you honor that vote and go forward by ranking these 3 alternatives.
So if we started voting all over again and we went to just the one you wanted, you would have voted for 3. You would have done 3, 2, 1, or 1, 2, 3, you know. You wouldn't have done that either then?
On the first.
On the
vote?
first ballot, instead of
For the first
your
vote was only
2.
for 2.
Yeah, but say if we threw that out and you did alternative 1, which was voting for 3, ranking them, would you do
No,
that?
I'm still on the alternative one voting. Even when it was announced to us, or when we first brought to us, the best solution for each candidate was, actually the best selection was alternative 1. It was fast, and then we moved forward from there.
So
When we went to the alternative 3, I didn't agree with all those alternative 3s. I agreed to alternative 1.
okay, so alternative 1 is you rank 3, right?
Alternative 1 is only one person.
One person, or am I confused or what? Alternative 1, do you remember?
Pick one person.
Just one pick? Oh, okay.
So I do think the remedy is if the council person does not wish to participate in terms of how it was decided by the council at the last meeting to participate. It wasn't brought up until now we're in the middle of the voting. I'm not sure your vote is valid in that. What we chose to do was each councilman must vote for 3, and you're not doing that. And in my mind, it invalidates your vote altogether.
Well, I think the biggest problem is it's going to just be a tie. It'll be. But the reason why we went to these other things is because we were worried about tie breaking and all that. That's why we were thinking about all that, because I didn't want each one of us have one applicant, and we vote again, and we vote again, and we vote again, and we vote again. So, yeah.
Because you're going to rank them 3, 2, 1, and then I'll add them.
Because if we vote. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move to the second voting. I don't know if we get an answer or not, but so. Okay.
Before you
Yeah.
do that, you need to determine, again, it was voted upon by the city council. It's clear that round two, each council member must select 3 different applicants. Councilmember Lambert, now at the last minute during the voting process, is not abiding by that. And I think the remedy is that he must vote for 3 or his vote doesn't count at all. But if that's what ends up in a tie, then we have, we have that problem, which we were trying to avoid. And
Well,
Ms. Lewis?
yes, thank you. The vote started off wrong with the first round, where Councilmember Lambert did not want to vote for 2. And now we're in the position of voting for 3. So I agree with the city attorney. If any council member doesn't want to follow what we voted on going forward, then the vote for that council member does not count. That's just the bottom line. And so if Councilmember Lambert doesn't want to abide by what we all voted and agreed upon, then you and I have to make a decision.
And the reason why I don't agree with it is because, just like I stated last week, and you stated at that meeting before we even closed it down, that it was possible that we could change during that time if certain things come up. So I'm introducing that change to where I'm only voting my one, especially on this first thing. Even during the time, you actually agreed that alternative 1 would have been simple or easier with the 4 people. I'm sticking to that. There's no, I don't see why on the second one. I think you even made it clear. And then I think Mr. Vaughn actually said, even on the second one, that we could make change if we needed to make changes at that time. Then we'd make the changes at this meeting. So
Yes,
that's what I remember.
So what happens if he votes now on the second round and just votes for his one candidate? It just, I mean, it's just, or we go back to what Ken wanted, we each just vote for 1. First round, it's just more chance of a tie. I guess we give it a shot and see what happens.
Mayor, I think our city clerk has an idea.
Oh, Lucy?
I think you're going to rank them 3, 2, 1.
Right.
So depending on how you 2 rank, your 2 added together might beat his 1, 3.
You understand that? So you could just vote for 1.
And I totally understand, but I'm sticking to the one that I agree with. At least I know who I wanted. It's who I wanted.
so I think the problem with that logic is that it's taking away votes from number 2 and 3, which is the way we set up doing this. And I don't think you can have 2 councilmen voting for 3 and 1 councilman voting for 1. That's not what was decided. All due respect to you, Mr. Lambert, that's what was decided. That's how the vote is stated. That's how the alternative is written, that you must select 3 different applicants. And during the middle of the voting, I find it unacceptable that you're announcing that you're not going to do that. I think it calls into question the validity of the whole vote. That's what I think.
Which, just in your mind, what alternative would have been the correct alternative?
In my mind, isn't what's important. It's what the council decided to do at the last meeting, which you were part of that, and the council voted to do this alternative. And that doesn't mean that you can disagree all you want, but that's what they decided to do, and you should conform to what was decided to do by the group.
Okay, I think I don't want to not validate your vote. I want you to vote. Okay, I don't want to. So I'd say, and we can change it. It's not an ordinance, it's not a resolution. So why don't we just each vote for 1 person? Okay, we'll just throw out the first ballot. We each vote for 1 person. That's how it used to when I was mayor the first time around. That's how we did it. But there were 4 of us up here, so it made it a little bit easier than 3. But this is going, I'm just telling you, this is going to be a tie. Everybody's going to get 1 vote. I think, but let's try that. That's all we can do. So on this ballot you have in front of you, just give your circle or X the person that gets your 1 vote, your selection. Okay? You okay with that? Yeah. You okay with that, Ms. Lewis?
Well, I'm not, because I think we're giving in to one council member who's really thwarting the whole process that we agreed upon. And this is not democracy working for our city. This is not democracy at all. This is what we've been dealing with for a long time. And I'm not ready to give in to do something because one person is forcing the 2 of us to hold out. Either that person complies or they don't get to vote. Bottom line.
And you know what the real democracy should be? Is to send it out to the citizens of each district, District 2 and District 3. That's the way I feel. Allow them to do that. Instead of, since you feel that way, allow our citizens to actually make that decision.
Is that a motion?
I would make that motion right now.
Okay, the reason why we didn't do that is because it's somewhere around $110,000 or the county didn't know exactly
It's
what
not
it
on
They
the
did give
agenda.
us a quote. They gave us a quote.
Yeah. And that's not on the agenda tonight.
And the reason why I said that, because there's only one applicant, actually the only thing I agreed with him, was the only way to make the democracy was to send it to the citizens. So,
Well,
but
you
I'm just
realize
saying.
that's also a November election. That's not March. That's November. So you want to go through all
I hate to
that
see it that way,
and
but that's, I mean,
and for
where
1
we're
year,
going.
basically. You want to run on a campaign, and that's why we decided to select. I don't want to not validate your vote. I understand what Ms. Lewis is saying, but your vote, you're a council member, should have a vote. So I'm trying to come up with a compromise that we each take 1 vote and go back to the, is it option 1? Too many options. Too many options, too many districts. It gets so confusing.
The alternative you decided not to do.
Yeah. Just 1 second, please. So I don't know. What do you tell me how you feel? You just did a little while ago, but
Yeah. There are a lot of things that
But
didn't
we won't-
happen the way I'd like them to happen over the past 2 years. We agreed upon this at the last meeting. We need to honor our commitment as council members. And that's where I'm going to stay on this. I'm not going to give in because Councilman Lambert wants to have it his way. We voted on it last week. We agreed upon it. Whoever I want may not get it. Whoever you want may not get it. Whoever he wants may not get it. But we have to stick to what we agreed upon. This is why city government doesn't work well when you have people who don't want to follow the rules. Yes, we could have an election, but the law also allows us to point. There are certain days that you have to have an election and certain days within the scope of a vacancy that you have to appoint. So here we are. We agreed upon a process, and this is what I want to stick to. And I'm sorry that Councilman Lambert doesn't want to follow this. I don't know why he doesn't want to follow this, but it's not fair to the rest of the council, and it's not fair to you as citizens to sit back and wait and wait and wait. We agreed on a process tonight, and we need to move forward with it. So I'm going to stick with the option that we agreed upon.
Just go ahead and put the option back over here. I'll make it simple and easy. Go ahead and send the other package back over here. I'll put it in a.
She gave it
I
to you.
handed it to you.
No, I'll make it easy.
Okay.
Yep, we're good. I'm done.
Okay, so
It's good. Come grab
the
it.
second round, you rank your first choice 3 points, second choice 2 points, and third choice 1 point. And so
Just remember, I was outnumbered 2-1 last week when we went through all that. I did not agree to the option number 3.
yeah, I understand.
And you said we agreed to. I did not agree to it. Remember, I went with it because that's what you guys want.
Councilmember Lewis voted for Refugio Lamas number 1, Evan Sanders number 2, and Abel Molina was number 3. Mayor Amabil voted Refugio Lamas number 2, Evan Sanders number 3, and Abel Molina number 1.
I gave points.
Oh, you did points?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me
Give it
fix
back to me.
Deborah's. Sorry. 3, Evan, 2, and 1. Okay. So point-wise for Councilmember Lewis, Refugio Lamas received 3 points, Evan Sanders 2 points, and Abel Molina 1 point. For Mayor Amabil, Refugio Lamas 2 points, Evan Sanders 3, and Abel Molina 1. And then for so do you just want me to default the 3? Or I'll let you put it in. So Councilmember Lambert gave Refugio Lamas 0 points. Evan Sanders, he gave 2. And Abel, so you did, okay. So you want to give Evan Sanders 2 points and Abel Molina 3. Okay, so again, Refugio was 0. Evan Sanders is 2, and Abel Molina is 3. So if I do the math, that's Refugio Lamas is 3 plus 2, 5. Evan Sanders is 2 plus 3 plus 2 is 7. And Abel Molina is 5. So it looks like Evan Sanders has the most points.
Lucy, could you read those points back again?
But I don't know what to do about the
The 0.
Just
the
defaults
0,
to the
Mr.
one, to the
Vaughn.
1.
Give it a 1.
Just
It has to
becomes
be
a 1.
It's a 1.
A 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 for Refugio is 6. 2 plus 3 plus 2 is 7 for Evan. 1 plus 1 plus 3 is 5 for
That's it.
Abel.
Congratulations, Mr. Sanders.
You want to take a break? Or just charge ahead?
No breaks. We're moving ahead. Okay.
That we're going to do the rezos and the oaths after the second?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it takes a resolution to put you on the console. We will do that at the end of the next round. So now we'll move on to item, well, that we're still in the same item. That's the other resolution. So Lucy, it's your show again.
Okay, so Erasmo, you're still here. Marcus? Okay, I'm not taking roll. Stephen? Miguel? And Sybil? I should probably read into the microphone. Okay, the first is Miguel Alejandre. And then we'll go to Stephen Nunes. And then we'll go to Marcus Chavez. Fourth is Erasmo. And fifth is Sybil. And just for the record, John Cates and Philip DeLeon dropped out. So it's just you five.
Okay, Miguel, if you could come forward. We appreciate you all being here, and you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, gentlemen, council, mayor, city staff. My name is Miguel Alejandre. I'm originally born and raised in Fireball, California. I have about 6-7 years here in Los Banos. I have a gym business called The Compound, another business that just celebrated its 20th anniversary called Smokey Joe's Billiards, and an HVAC handyman company that I do all over the Central Valley. I have my beautiful wife here. I'm a father of twins, 8 months old. My kids are going to be raised here in this town. That's what I plan on doing. I fell in love with the city when I first moved over here. I fell in love with someone specifically and convinced me to stay here. I started my business here. I want to see it grow. I want to see other small businesses grow. One thing I'm very passionate about is that if my kids are going to be raised here, I want them to be raised in a community where I feel it's safe, where health is a priority, where infrastructure, where roads are safe, where there's not so much traffic, where they can, my family and loved ones and friends and everyone around the community can be like Los Banos is the place to be. Yeah, that's all I got.
Lucy will ask you the questions.
Question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
The leaders of Los Banos to work together on situations that have happened, on everything that we have an opinion on. I feel like we are meant here to be figureheads, to be the voices of the people that we serve. We're not here to have our own opinions on what we think we should do. I feel like we should listen to the voices of the citizens of each of our districts. That's one thing I feel like we should all work together on, is listening, working as a team. As Pastor Raul said in the beginning, that we need to work as a team, because I feel like it's always going to get us further. And yeah, I feel like it's the root of it. I feel like through that we can come up with great ideas on what can happen, how we can cause traffic to lessen, to honestly even like personal opinions of mine. It's like 7 in the morning, sun is glaring down your face, you're going eastbound and you can't see anything, which can cause hazards to kids traffic going to school, or when you're at the stoplight, like you can't see people, or even like towards going to the west side when you go to the dump, there is no merger to go to the left. It just causes traffic and cause someone to hit maybe a dump truck or something, or little ideas like that. I feel like we can definitely talk about as a team, and I feel like just we can't work if we're not working as a team, it's not going to work as well. I've been coming to the council maybe for council meetings for maybe a year and a half. I've constantly seen Deborah Lewis being, I don't like using the word belittled, but I feel like her voice and all that wasn't heard, and everyone always had the same opinion. And that's something you said last time. I feel like it's great that everyone has a different opinion. There's stuff I don't agree on that she says, there's stuff I agree on that she says that she doesn't say, and vice versa with everyone else as well. I feel like we can all work together and come up with solutions together. I feel our leadership is the catalyst that would definitely change Los Banos.
Question number 2. How does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
I'm a strong advocate for where I feel like small businesses here need to be represented more. I came here to council meeting once saying that I didn't like, or I didn't appreciate that only one small business was displayed on the city page, on the city Instagram socials, all that stuff. I feel like every business, small business here, should be given the equal opportunity to be showcased, because I feel everyone talks about bringing infrastructure, bringing bigger jobs and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm okay with whatever the city wants to do. If we want to grow, or if we want to stay small, I'm okay with either. But if you want to grow, that means a lot of small businesses are going to suffer at the expense of bigger businesses. And Yeah, I know my Smoky Joe's Village would not be something if a Dave and Buster's was here in town, stuff like that. Of course, there's a lot I can say, but I wish the small businesses here, we would invest in them and before we can invest in something else. But again, that's not up to me. That would be up to the voice of my district and the people of Los Baños.
Question number 3. What are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
I love Los Baños. I definitely want to stay here for a very long time. My kids are going to be raised here. I want them to feel proud of where they come from. I feel proud to say that I'm from Fireball. It's just a small town, nothing but farmers and the Neil Jones Food Company, which is like Morningstar for Los Baños, that brought a lot of jobs in. I feel like when people talk, when I first came here 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I can't even remember right now, a lot of the people, a lot of the friends I made were against staying in Los Baños. Like, no, we got to get out of this town. This town is, it's small, it's corrupt, it's this and that. It's like, oh, I enjoy it here. I love it here. I love being around here. I want to start my business here. I am planting myself here. I'm well invested into this city, and I want to see it grow. I want to see it nurture. I want to see it taken care of. So I feel like I definitely, if I'm bringing have my kids to school here or homeschool, I'm not sure what my wife and I decide. I definitely want to feel like they're proud and that I can say I am from Los Baños, a place where it's in the middle of everywhere, where you can get to the mountains, where you can get to the ocean, where you can get to Sacramento to LA almost in around the same amount of hours. Not LA, maybe it's a little distant, but yeah, I'm saying I feel like we have so much potential here and a lot that we can dig up.
Question number 4. Why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
Again, I want to listen to the people in my district. I don't know exactly much of what they want and need. I haven't been into politics so much, and I haven't gone door to door at certain council members here and seen what each person in their district wants or needs or would hope for. That's something I would definitely love to change. I would love to hear them out and see what we can do for my district or for my district, and whether it be plant more trees, whether the construction for the Rural and Pioneer, if it's going to be safe, feasible for the kids that are playing around that park, or that the traffic right there on the 165 152 is it's not so jammed up to the end to where you need, if you want to go to the west or east side. There's a lot of things that I feel like would be beneficial, but I'm going to listen to what the district wants or what they need, and also fellow council members, because it goes one hand in hand on whatever decisions we make in our district is going to affect other districts.
Question number 5. What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
Again, broken record, the leadership. I feel like we have a lot of strong, willing people that want to change Los Baños. A lot of great leaders. It's just how can we come together, work as a team, to put aside differences and work together. If there's one thing I learned in being married, not even 2 years yet, is compromising, acting on logic, acting on facts, not acting on emotions, whether we like someone or not. That's one thing I really hope to bring to the table, because I feel like it's something we definitely lack in the city of Los Baños, and I feel like our leadership can definitely work together, along with the city staff employees, with the police, with the firefighters. I feel like everyone is a valued employee, and everyone should be treated to the utmost respect, because they are the people of our city who create a safer and better environment for the people of Los Baños. So I feel if our city leaders, council works together, we can all be a great city.
Okay, the 6th and last question. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
I kind of feel like it's, repeating a lot what was said in the first for District 2. One thing I feel like, honestly, saying the questions I feel, in my opinion, shouldn't have been let known by everyone. I feel like everyone should have been on the spot. on figuring out why Los Baños is great. And we're telling my wife, like, shoot, like I wanted to be put on the spot to be able to explain and try to see why or what questions would come up. But anyways, a reason why I feel Los Baños, someone would want to move to Los Baños is because it's a great small, big town in the middle of everywhere. Congratulations, Evan Sanders. Like he exactly said, I'm a big advocate for Yosemite being over there, Monterey, Santa Cruz being over there. Like I said, I'm a big advocate for health. I love hiking. You'll catch me down Dinosaur Point hundreds of times out of the year. And then having the chance to go to Chick-Chancy or Table Mountain or to the Golden Gate Bridge, it's all in the grasp of our hand. And yeah, so I feel like it's definitely, and it's housing is cheaper. And then when it comes to economics, I feel like if we do bring a lot more jobs here in town, it's going to bring a lot more people into buying houses and a shortage, which can increase prices of housing. And then that goes, I can go on about it. But anyways, it's a small, big town that I feel like has a lot of great people in it and has everything everyone would need. I just wish that the city of Los Baños would showcase more of what we already have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen? Welcome.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Sanders, Mayor Amabil, Councilwoman Lewis, Councilman Lambert, and city staff and the public. My name is Steve Nunes. I was born and raised in Los Banos. I've been married to my wonderful wife for 47 years, who moved here in 1963 with her family. We raised our 3 daughters here, and they graduated from Los Banos High School. We're very proud of living in Los Banos. I'm now retired. I have the opportunity to give all that is needed to fulfill that seat and the time that will be needed to fill that seat. I also have the energy to do so. A little bit about my background is I was an owner of the KFC A&W here in Los Banos for 14 years. I was also an area manager for Carl's Jr. for 14 years. And I was an area manager for 7-Eleven for 12 years. And I was also a financial consultant for American Express. As you can see with my background, I've always been in the public, been in service of our public. I enjoy working with people. I think my strength is I'll be able to develop relationships with people, and so that we can move work forward. I agree that we need to work together as a team and to help move the city forward here in Los Banos. It's time for me to give back to the city that helped me grow up to the person I am today.
Question number 1, what do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
A number of people have already said this, but I think it is important. We need to do and find jobs, high-paying jobs for our residents that live here in Los Banos. Give them the choice, because it is their choice, whether they want to drive over Chaco Pass and work there, or give them the choice to work here. It's a challenge because the state, in my opinion, puts handcuffs on us with the high taxes that are in this state. But the question then comes up, how do the other cities around us draw this industry into their cities? So have we talked to those cities? What do we need to do as we are the crossroads of the valley? What do we need to do to bring those industries or businesses into our community? You know, we have a real strong retail business here in town, which provides us with a strong tax base, which helps the city do some of the things I believe that it would like to do moving forward. But if we can incentivize businesses to come to Los Banos, it will continue to grow our tax base because hopefully our residents will be spending more money here and not spending them in other locations.
Question number 2, how does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
Well, I'm going to repeat myself for a second, but a strong business community just, again, gives us the tax base that we need. Because without the tax base, we can't do the things that we need to do to move the city forward. A strong local tax base will give our residents, which I've been, my entire life, the opportunity to choose. Do we want to be able to have our residents shop here or go out of town? We need the infrastructure, though, to be able to keep our local businesses here and to be able to grow. So, to give you an example, when I was working for 7-Eleven, I was having to travel to Gilroy, Watsonville, and Salinas every day. 5 days a week. Where was I spending my money? I was spending it there. I wasn't spending it here. So that's why we need to try and get residents to be able to work here if they choose to do so we can continue to build our tax base.
Question number 3, what are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
To me, that's an easy one. It starts with us. It starts with everybody here in the council. We've got to set the tone for pride in this city. It's up to us. We can't just talk the talk. We have to walk the walk. The example is I've been affiliated with my church, working with Parks and Rec for over 20 years, doing different projects throughout the city. We've painted graffiti. We have painted the gates going to the trail walk along the canal. We've spread bark on every single park here in town. Now we're doing bark and painting basketball courts. I got to thank Joe. He's been outstanding since he's been in place with the help that he's provided for us to be able to do this. But in the 20 years that we've been doing this, and we've been in every single district, not one time has a city council member come out there and spoke to the residents that were there help beautify the city or giving of their time. Not a single time. Now, I don't know what your schedules are. I don't know what your physical abilities are. But I believe this is what I would do if I'm sitting in that seat. I want to make the time to go out and thank those residents for giving of their time to help make this city a beautiful city and a city where you would be proud of. I do have to say, 3 years ago, I had the pleasure of watching our city manager come up and actually work with us. So thank you, Josh, for helping us with that. He literally came and worked the 4 hours that we were there, spreading bark and painting the basketball courts. If you add it up over the years that we've been doing this, we've given the city over 2,000 hours free. Not looking for a pat on the back, but a thank you once in a while would be nice.
Question number 4, why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
I think I should be chosen for this district is, first and foremost, I'm going to lead by example. And then the second thing is I'm going to do is I will lead with integrity. When I ran my business here in Los Banos, my KFC A&W for 14 years, not one time did I have an issue with anyone from the city or anyone that where there was a problem. We were a model location. And I say that because we hired local students to work for us, and I showed them what work should be. How should you work? How should you work with the public? So I would lead by example. But I do have a couple of priorities if I am appointed to the seat. The first and foremost would be the safety of our residents. Whether it's city government, federal government, state government, the number one priority of government is to protect our residents. So I would be an incredibly strong proponent for our police department and whatever they need. The second thing that I would be, we need to develop a growth plan for this city. That growth plan needs to include housing and industry so that we can grow together, so that the city and our residents can be proud of where we live. and that we have the opportunities to provide for our residents.
Question number 5. What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
I think everybody up here so far has said almost the same thing. The biggest challenge is trying to find jobs and high-paying jobs for our residents. It is something that I think we need to really look at. I think it's an opportunity for us. If we really are the crossroads, then we should be able to draw industry into our city. The other thing that I think is a challenge for our city is our homeless problem. It's not illegal to be homeless, but we need to be able to help those people, especially the ones that want help, that want to be able to help themselves become self-sufficient once again. That should be the ultimate goal of helping these people. Now, there's some people that don't want help. I understand that. But the people that do want help, what's out there for us to help those individuals? I saw at the last city council meeting, there was a young lady that was recognized for what she was doing with the homeless. I would love to sit down and talk to her and see how we could possibly help. I think that would be just a tremendous thing to do.
Question number 6, and it's your last question. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
I believe Los Banos is still considered a very safe community to live. Actually, one of my neighbors told me this today. I said, hey, why did you move to Los Banos? You've been here for 15, 20 years. What brought you here? He goes, well, first of all, it was safety. And so he told me this story, and I'm not going to tell you the town that he lived in before because I don't want to throw anybody underneath the bus. But he was at an intersection, and a group of young men were walking by, and he must have looked at them the wrong way. And they started pounding on the hood of his car. So he got out to confront them and say, what's going on? Why are you guys doing this? Well, as he got out, some other individuals started walking up behind him. Then he knew he was in trouble. Luckily, his friends from the softball game just happened to pull up right behind him at that point in time. Everybody dispersed. So his number one reason for moving here was safety. The second thing is, I think we still have good schools. All 3 of our daughters graduated from Los Banos High. My oldest daughter was accepted to Cal Poly University to the liberal arts program. And when she got accepted, we were told that approximately 15% of applicants get accepted. She got accepted. Why? Because she got an education here. My second daughter went to school at Utah State University. Again, not an easy school to get into, and she was able to get into the school. I've got to say that we were able to raise our 3 daughters in this community and been able to teach them that they should still be, that they should be involved in their community, be involved in their schools, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Marcus?
All right. Mr. Sanders, congratulations. All right. Councilwoman Lewis and Councilman Lambert, Mayor Amberville, thank you, and everybody from the city, thank you very much. My name is Marcus Chavez. I've lived in Los Banos since 1979. I've been here for a very long time, and I wrote my application that I'd actually gone. I have attended, Henry Miller School when it was, Miano. The junior high was across the street from West Santa Fe, which used to be New Deal back in the day, but that was the junior high. And, so I grew up here. And, when I left for college, I came back, and I'm one of the lucky ones, okay? I'm one of the lucky ones that got back here and was able to get one of the, good-paying jobs that we're saying that we need to bring here to Los Banos. And, I've been with my employer for 30 years. And it's a great employer, and it's the Morningstar Company. And I've learned a lot while I've been working there. But why am I here in front of everybody? the reason I'm here is because, I'm married, but I've got my wife here and I've got my 12-year-old daughter here. My 12-year-old daughter is the reason why I'm up here. Because what I've seen is the people that I went to school with, they've went to college. A lot of them never came back like I did. I'm still here. I came back. And why didn't they come back? A lot of them said, it's jobs. It's various reasons why they didn't come back. And, I'm hoping that if Los Banos can continue, at least the way I remembered it, and I'm not saying turn back the clocks like some people have said, I'm not advocating for that. But, I want Los Banos to still continue to be great. And I want my daughter, to go and, get educated and return and come back to Los Banos, and I'm hoping that she's going to, stay here like I did and raise a family in the future. So that's what I'm looking to do. All right. All right, Lucy, we're ready to go.
Question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
Well, I had a lot of things written out, and a lot of stuff's already been said. All right. But, I agree, the economic catalyst, what is that? Well, you got to remember, we are an ag-based economy here, so we can't forget that. But, we do got to find those jobs. We got to bring those jobs. We got to find, those industries to come here into Los Banos. And, one of the things that I look at is Patterson, and someone mentioned Patterson before. I sit on the Patterson high school logistics program advisory board. And one thing over the years since I've been there, they've developed programs to basically, kids that are coming out of high school, what are they going to do? Not everybody goes to college. There's a lot of blue-collar jobs, and they pay well. And whether it's Amazon, Grainger, whether it's the restoration hardware that's there, and others that are there, Rite Aid, or I think that's the one that's there. But what they have is a program created so people can basically go get the skills they need, whether it's down from interviewing, and it's basically, how to do jobs, whether it's forklifts, electricians, and other things. And I think that's a great thing. And that's something that I think about a lot as far as what can Los Banos, do. And that's something that's always stuck with me. Thank you.
Question number 2. How does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
Well, I think what's key there is you've got to build on community. You've got to make it a better place to live, a place where people want to basically, they want to live, they want to play, they want to work here. And if they're going to work here, majority of them are, they're going to spend their money here. And if they're going to spend their money here, then that's revenue that stays within our city, which is going to benefit us. And that's something that I think is very important. It's also important, it's got to be a safe community, because without a safe community, it makes it difficult, to have those good jobs here. And there's some people, give them the choice whether they want to commute or do they want to stay here, do they want to work, but they got to have good jobs to stay here and work here. And I think that's something that's very important as well.
Question number 3. What are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
So it was said earlier, that it starts here, which is true. It starts here with everybody that's here. And, it's simple. Build a sense of community, and you're going to build pride. So, now how you go about doing that, there's a lot of ways to do that. But I think it's very important. Just build that sense of community, and automatically you're going to build that pride. All right? Thank you.
Question number 4. Why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
Well, I know it's supposed to be, you're supposed to represent your district. And I've heard, people say, and I think the gentleman earlier who was here, he made, he made comment about, don't fight for those crimes just for your district. It's not about just that. And I think in a couple of meetings back, Councilwoman Lewis said something about when you guys were talking about, what are you going to do to select people? And I think you made no agendas, and you said we should be preloading interviews, and you said something about, it's not just about your district, it's about the city, and I think that's very important. It's, I'm no politician, and I'm not, I don't have all the answers, but I think, what I do bring is the business experience of 30 years working with high-level teams at Morningstar, and one of the things that I've learned there, collaborating with people is very, very important, and, I've been I've been to Disney Institute. What's their approach to leadership? Employee engagement. That's very important because you can have the company and you can have all these things that you want to get going, but what's the most important resource, whether it's a company or whether here it's in the city, it's the people. It's the people that you're working with. They're the ones that are going to carry you. You know, I can sit there and say, I've got all the answers and all this stuff, but if the people don't respect you, the people are the ones that are ultimately going to carry you to success. So that's why the people are very important as far as, you know, you make your, I'm at a loss for words, but it's just, you know, that's why I just say I understand the district portion of it, but I still believe is what is the best for the city as a whole. And I know you're not going to please everyone. That's a given. But what makes sense? Thank you.
Question number 5. What do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
Well, it's been said a lot as jobs. For me, I believe safety is core number one, because we can bring all these jobs and industries in and stuff like that, but if people don't feel safe, I think that's a problem. And I think, you know, safety is important. And, you know, and it's been talked about earlier about the unhoused or the homeless. You know, how do we deal with that? But people got to feel safe in our communities, and I think that makes you know, that's going to make the citizens happy if they're feeling safe. But you've got to work with the county, you got to work with the state, you've got to reach out to other agencies, and you've got to sit there and you've got to work with them and see, you know, what are they doing? What works for them? Is that something we can do as well? You know, you need proper staffing of police departments, fire departments, and stuff like that. And a lot of that goes into safety. And that's very, very big and important. You know, but to do a lot of that stuff, you know, you got to be able to work as a team, you know. And yeah, there's challenges up here, and you can see it. No, I'm not talking tonight. I'm talking all the time. And where I work, same thing. We have differences, but how do we work past those differences? How, you know, can your mind be changed? You know, and it's good to have different, you know, opinions. You know, whether it's somebody who's liberal, it's moderate, it's, you know, someone's conservative. You have to have a mix of those people because they see things differently. And sometimes if we're all the same, we're going to see things the same, but maybe you need that different perspective from somebody else. And they can sit there and they can say, oh, okay. But you got to be willing to be open enough to go, oh, you know what? I never saw it that way. I didn't think about that. And you've got to be open to change. And you've got to be open to say, you know what? I think that's a good idea. And yeah, maybe I am wrong. That's one thing at Morningstar that they preach very much so, is you got to be able to accept when, you know, there could be a better idea. And it works. Thank you.
Question number 6, and it's your last question. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos, and why?
Well, for me, it's a sense of community, you know, that you have here. It's important. You know, it's about the people that live here. And, you know, you have that calm hometown life that's here. That's why I came back. And, you know, I like that very much. And I want my daughter to continue to experience that. And others have already said it. You know, where we're located, it's great because, you know, I can go to the mountains in 2 hours, whether it's Yosemite, I can go to the beach. If I want to go to the hustle and bustle of the city, I can go to San Francisco. I can do all that stuff. But it's the people here. It's the sense of community here. And that's, you know, why I would tell someone, this is why you want to move to Los Banos. Thank you.
Thank you. Rosmo?
Thank you. I'm getting over a cold, so my apologies for my scratchy voice. I'm going to put a cough drop in so I don't go into a coughing spell. Oops. And congratulations, Mrs. Sanders, on your appointment. Okay, ready? Okay, thank you, Honorable Mayor and Council members, for this wonderful opportunity and a heartfelt welcome to everyone present in the chambers and those watching online this evening. My name is Erasmo Viveros. I'm here today asking for appointment to the District 3 City Council seat. It's an exciting moment for me, and I hope to share my vision and enthusiasm for our community with you. I come before you with a rich tapestry of professional experience that I believe uniquely qualifies me for this role. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working in leadership positions within the public sector for many members of the California State Assembly and Senate. The journey has taken me through the vibrant rural and urban landscapes of Northern, Central, and Southern California. I've crafted and negotiated legislation that has directly impacted communities, focusing on essential areas like public safety funding, transportation, and local government. In my time serving as chief of staff to the vice mayor for the city of Irvine, I rolled up my sleeves to collaborate closely with the city manager, department heads, businesses, and community members. Together, we tackled the pressing challenges facing the city, crafting local ordinances and establishing public-private partnerships that enhanced community amenities. It was rewarding work, and it instilled in me a deep appreciation for the power of collaboration and community involvement. Additionally, my experience in the private sector with granite construction has equipped me with a unique perspective. Being part of an executive team that oversaw negotiations for 200 union agreements for our company workforce nationwide, it taught me the importance of listening, understanding diverse viewpoints, and finding common ground. But Los Banos is more than just a career stop for me. It's a community I care deeply about. And it's where I work, and more importantly, it's where I call home. I served as chair in both the Planning and Parks and Recreation Commission for our city, where I gained firsthand knowledge of our aging infrastructure and the and the issues of urban planning. I share all of this not to boast, but to illustrate my readiness and eagerness to take on the responsibilities of serving as your councilman. I am passionate about representing the voices of District 3 and addressing the needs of our residents. With my diverse background and willingness to engage in constructive and respectful dialogue, I believe it can help bridge gaps and foster collaboration in the community and on the dais. Together, we can create a brighter future for Los Banos, where every voice is heard and every idea is valued. Thank you.
Okay, question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
Thank you. That is definitely the billion-dollar question. In my opinion, Los Banos has so much potential to redefine itself beyond being just a bedroom community. I believe to unlock this potential, investing in small businesses and local entrepreneurship could be the most important economic catalyst for us. By fostering an environment where local startups can flourish, we can create jobs, boost the economy, and enhance community engagement. We could also focus on attracting diverse industries that align with our community values, like sustainable agriculture, ecotourism. Imagine transforming our downtown area into a vibrant hub filled with local shops, cafes, and cultural events. This shift not only creates economic opportunities, but it also builds a strong sense of identity for our residents. By changing the narrative of a bedroom community, we can encourage residents to invest their time and resources in Los Banos, making it a thriving, self-sustaining community that celebrates its unique character and potential. I'm a firm believer that our rail corridor will be the anchoring point to our historic downtown. Thank you.
Question number 2. How does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
That's a great question. With no doubt, a strong local business community is vital for making Los Banos a better place to live. When we support local businesses, we're not just buying products, we're investing in our neighbors and our community. Local business creates jobs, keeps money circulating within our economy, and provides unique services and products that reflects our community's character. They foster connections among residents and creates a sense of belonging and pride. Additionally, local businesses often support community initiatives, events, and enhances our quality of life. Picture this: lively farmer markets, festivals, and local art shows, all made possible by our thriving business community. When we rally around our local entrepreneurs, we build stronger, more resilient Los Banos, where everyone benefits and feels part of something special.
Question number 3, what are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
Yes. No, that's actually a really important question. It speaks to the fabric of our community. You know, I'm a firm believer that creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos is all about highlighting what makes our city unique, encourage residents to participate in local activities. One effective way to foster pride is through community events that celebrate our culture, history, and achievements, whether it's organizing neighborhood cleanup days, cultural festivals, or art showcases. These activities can bring residents together and instill a sense of ownership and responsibility to our community. Encouraging local schools, organizations to encourage community services can also bring pride among our younger generations. When we showcase our local heroes, artisans, success stories, we inspire collective identity that everyone can be proud of. By embracing our shared values and history, we nurture a vibrant community spirit that resonates in every corner of Los Banos. Thank you.
Question number 4, why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
No, this is definitely a fair question. I believe I should be chosen to represent my district because I deeply committed to listening to the concerns and aspirations of our residents. My goal as a councilman would be to create a pathway for collaboration, ensuring that every voice is heard and valued. I hope to accomplish a more transparent and approachable local government where residents feel empowered to engage in the decision-making process. By prioritizing community forums and feedback channels, we can ensure that our initiatives reflect the needs of our district. I also want to focus on initiatives that enhance public safety, improve infrastructure, and promote economic growth that benefits all residents. Together, we can cultivate a thriving community that is not only a great place to live, but also a model for other cities. And while on the dais with my council colleagues, I promise to be respectful and cordial to everyone. Point of view. After all, this is a nonpartisan position, and we're here to make decisions that are in the best interest of the people of Los Banos. Thank you.
Question number 5, what do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
This is a really good question. It's a question I gave a lot of thought about. Los Banos, there's a lot of challenges like any other city. But I would say the biggest challenges facing Los Banos is undoubtedly the need for sustainable growth while preserving our community's character. As we see more development, we must ensure that it aligns with our values and addresses the needs of all residents. To address this challenge, we should implement a strategic plan that balances development with community input, ensuring that growth benefits everyone. This includes promoting affordable housing, accessible public spaces, and essential services, all while mitigating traffic impacts, public safety response times, and access to other essential amenities that residents will need now and well into the future. Additionally, engaging residents in decision-making and decisions about what they envision for our future can create a shared vision that everyone can contribute to. By fostering collaboration between local governments, businesses, and residents, we can face the challenges head-on, build a Los Banos that thrives while staying true to its roots. Thank you.
6th and final question, what do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos and why?
This is a really good question. I think it's a question that we often hear from a lot of folks. And I gave it a lot of thought. I would say moving to Los Banos is a great choice for anyone that's looking for that small town feel. It's a place where you can really connect with the community, which is hard to find in bigger cities today, and it's why I call it home. One of the best things about living here is that you get to know your neighbors. Imagine walking around and seeing familiar faces, sharing a smile or a quick chat on the corner. Also, you get around fairly easily, making life feel a lot less stressful compared to large city living. When you shop at your local store, it's nice to be greeted by name. The clerk remembers you and your favorite items. which makes errands feel more personal and enjoyable. It's all about building relationships in everyday life. Plus, you have a chance to get involved in your community. You can attend council meetings, chat with local leaders. It feels good to know that your voice matters and you can help shape the place you live in. And I speak from experience. I was here sitting in this council chambers when I was 17 years old, and Mayor Amabile was here, and it was an opportunity for us to shadow council members. And I think I was sitting at that table there some 20-some years ago. So having said all of this, moving to Los Banos means being part of a friendly community where you truly belong. Whether you're starting fresh or raising a family, it's a welcoming place that feels just right for making connections and enjoying life. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Sybil?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sybil Halloran, and it is an honor to be able to share a bit about myself with you as you consider the decision ahead. Los Banos has been home for the large majority of my life. I was drawn back to the neighborhood I grew up in from Sonoma County, where I attended college, established my career, and started a family of my own. While all locations have their pros and cons, Los Banos is where I feel at home, surrounded by extended family, walking along the canal, watching the birds that we share our space with, the friendly waves from neighbors as they drive by, the sounds of lively mariachi music or a football game on the evening air, the people I've known my whole life and those I've only just met, most of whom share in the small town culture of care that I can feel around me. You have seen a summary of my educational background and work experience in the application packet. I have a graduate degree in public administration and many years of experience in management and leadership roles serving a public good. As executive director of a statewide nonprofit, I gained experience working with a board and on committees and task forces, as well as in personnel management and fiscal oversight. I am confident in my capacity to learn and execute the role of council member with care and competence. Perhaps more important than my professional skills and experience is the character with how I approach my life. I'm a person who listens to others with an understanding that my experience is not the only one. I am a researcher who seeks the details, background, and implications of matters before me. I gather information and analyze it with a dedication to awareness of my own biases. I am not afraid to be seen as different, voice my opinion, or address my concerns. I am passionate about diversity and identity and experience and protecting space for the whole range of us to be seen and heard. It's a strange, somewhat contradictory thing to advocate for oneself as a representative of a large group of people. I do not pretend to think I would be able to make everyone happy or avoid missteps and mistakes. I do know that I would do my best to make responsible decisions based on sound information with deep consideration for all points of view and transparency in my reasoning. I am confident in my ability to work as a team with the rest of the council, treating each other with respect and approaching the role with humble dignity. This is what I can offer you to this place that I love. I appreciate your consideration.
Question number 1. What do you feel would be the most important economic catalyst for Los Banos moving forward?
Thank you. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend that I have some secret answer or an expert in economic development. It'd be nice if there was an easy answer, but I don't believe that one thing alone is needed to support our economy. There are many important components that we're all well familiar with. New industries with well-paying year-round jobs, opportunities for higher education and vocational training, smart, intentional population growth, responsive government to support business development. We have a general plan and downtown master plan. They include many of these elements. They are put together by experts with input from a variety of sources. We have the vision, we have staff with the expertise. We need to implement those plans with diligence and care, with attention to the process and getting public input. We need to support our city staff in doing that work.
Question number 2, how does a strong local business community make Los Banos a better place to live?
A strong local business community offers jobs, resources, culture, connection, pride, and of course, income for the city. Carrying out the ambitious goals set forth in the Downtown Master Plan and the Rail Trail Corridor Plan would do much to move us forward in supporting our local business community. When entrepreneurs feel welcome and supported in making their visions reality, our town experiences an influx of energy, opportunities, and funding. In addition to building our local economy, thriving business centers provide a space for gathering, recreation, and creativity, adding to a sense of community identity and pride.
Question number 3, what are your thoughts on creating a sense of community pride in Los Banos?
I think there's much we could do to build upon pride in our natural resources, such as the wildlands, wetlands, parks, the forebay, and the activities people, both residents and tourists, enjoy within them. Los Banos is also home to many proud subcultures that regularly engage in cultural activities and celebrations. Highlighting these groups, reaching out to them for their input and needs, lets them know they are an important part of our community identity. When groups feel heard and have access to the resources they need, they don't feel that they have to compete with each other. They can support and cheer each other on. Taking what is unique about Los Banos, supporting those engaging in community activities with public space and resources when possible will help foster that pride. I think real pride is like a relationship. Feedback, communication, and conflict are necessary. It goes both ways. When people are engaged, they are showing their pride. When people bring concerns forward, they are showing their pride. All forms of participation with our government should be encouraged. Information should be shared widely and readily.
Question number 4, why should you be chosen to represent your district, and what do you hope to accomplish as a council representative for your district?
I'm grateful to be proud of part of such a large group of applicants. Our presence here tonight speaks to the community pride and commitment to be found among residents of Los Banos. Even though only 2 applicants will be selected in the end, I hope the application process has been informative and inspiring for the current council. Many ideas, concerns, and perspectives have been shared, and I'm honored to be a part of that. I'm here to offer my perspective and willingness to take on the responsibility of a council member, but I am unwilling to argue for the selection of myself over another. I think diversity in its many forms is incredibly important for a governing body. While my identity offers some of the needed diversity on the council, it lacks in others. I know your choice will not be easy. Regarding what I hope to accomplish, my primary perspective is that as a government body, the way the council goes about its business is as important as what it does. Our city is blessed with skilled and passionate staff that deserve our respect and support to continue in their important work. Their concerns, when shared, need to be heard and addressed. The same for the concerns of our residents. The council must conduct itself in all interactions with respect, integrity, and selflessness. I am confident in my ability to go about the work of a council member in this way.
Question number 5, what do you feel is the biggest challenge facing Los Banos, and how do you feel it should be addressed?
There are a multitude of needs and challenges facing our city, of which I am sure you are much more intimately aware than I am. Aging infrastructure, economic growth, and job development, to name a few. I imagine the biggest challenge is how to address all of these competing needs within the confines of the governmental process and limited resources. I think a big part of why we find ourselves in the position we are in today of needing to fill these 2 vacant seats is because residents felt that agendas and defensiveness were prioritized over transparency and process. We cannot move forward with the practicalities of governing the city until we address the breakdown in trust and transparency that has taken place. We must involve the public in developing and reviewing city plans for growth, economic development, and infrastructure, including the city budgeting process. By facing these challenges up in front of us With openness and integrity, we can reestablish trust and move forward into a vibrant future.
Question number 6, and it's your final question. What do you feel is the best reason someone would want to move to Los Banos and why?
I don't think I can say that there's any best reason for someone to want to move to Los Banos. I think there are a lot of reasons why that would be the case, none being better than the other. I've already spoken about some of the aspects of Los Banos I personally find most appealing, but much of that may be unique to someone who grew up here. I think that being a comparatively affordable community to live in for California is something we can be proud of. We have central access to the coast, the Bay Area, the Sierra, Southern California, and a small rural atmosphere while still having access to a plethora of resources. Whatever brings someone to Los Banos doesn't matter as much as how they feel when they live here. No matter what stage of life a person is in, housing, recreation, education, transportation, water, food, jobs, childcare, medical services, elder care are all necessities that unify us. As a city, we can choose to prioritize and address these with thoughtfulness and care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank everybody for all the applicants. And we'll move on to voting. Put your, make sure you have your name.
Councilmember Lewis voted for Erasmo Viveros and Marcus Chavez. Mayor Amabil voted for Marcus Chavez and Sybil Holloran. Councilmember Lambert voted for Stephen Nunes and Sybil Holloran. So Erasmo got 2 votes total. Marcus got 4, 2 plus 2. Stephen got 2, and Sybil 2 plus 2 equals 4. the three applicants receiving the most points or more, if there's a tie for third, advance to the next round. So Marcus and Sybil received a total of 4, and Stephen and Erasmo 2 each. So do they all 4 go to the next round? Excuse me?
No, nothing.
I'm good?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I have a question for our attorney. Since we have point systems for 3 candidates, but we have 4 on here, how does that work?
You vote for 3.
Okay, thank you.
So is this your ranking or your points? Okay, so Marcus Chavez was rated number 1, so he would get 3 points from Councilmember Lewis. And then Sybil Halloran was rated number 2, so she would get 2 points from Councilmember Lewis. And then Erasmo Baveros is rated number 3, so he would get 1 point. And this is for Mayor Amabile. His first choice was Marcus, so he would get 3 points. His second choice is Sybil. She would get 2. And Erasmo would get 1. He was third for Amabile. And then for Councilmember Lambert, he states that Stephen Nunes would get 3 points. Sybil Halloran would get 2 points. And Marcus Chavez would get 1 point. So that would mean 2 for Erasmo total, 1 plus 1. For Marcus Chavez, it would be 3 plus 3 plus 1, which would be 7. Stephen Nunes, total of 3. And then Sybil would get 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 6. So it's Marcus Chavez with 7.
Congratulations. Again, I want to thank you all very much. It's difficult up here, but we have to make choices, and we appreciate all of you. Again, there's Planning Commission. There's a lot of different commissions that you can join, and we'd love to have you a part of our city. Okay, we will now move on to the resolutions, and it's City Council Resolution number 6866, approving an appointee to the Los Banos City Council to serve the remaining term of District 2 seat on the Los Banos City Council. This is an action and a motion, and with that, and that is Mr. Sanders. So I need a motion and a second.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 6866 as read by title.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations again. And now we will move on to item B, which is City Council Resolution number 6867, approving an appointee to the Los Banos City Council to serve the remaining term of District 3 seat on the Los Banos City Council. And this would be a motion for Mr. Chavez.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 6867 as read by title.
Got a motion and a second. As stated, questions or comments? Not hearing any. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations. Now we will be administrating the oaths of office to our newly appointed city council members. And we'll start with, we'll bring both of them up, Lucy.
I just need to print out the oaths of office. So
Okay.
just give me
We got to print out
a few minutes.
we got to print out the oaths. 1 minute, please. And we'll do them individually. Mr. Evans? Please take your seat. Please. Congratulations. Marcus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your new city council for 2025. So with that, I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Thank you all very much.